How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Right now, I am waiting for my laptop to finish doing whatever it's doing so that I can mix and master a track for an old client of mine back when I used to run a studio. So it's been a long time since I've done this, but I'm excited to do it again. Let me discuss them with y'all real fast. I am thinking about renaming this channel, rebranding the channel to The Knights. I think it sounds good. I like it. I am going to do that. We are now called The Knights, ladies and gentlemen. This is what this channel is called. It is now The Knights. So welcome back, Knights, to this week's video. I'm here to talk to y'all about habits. Let's get into that. Man, I'm telling y'all, I still got it. Mixing and mastering tracks is like riding a bike. Now, let's actually sit down and talk about habits. How to form habits and how to let go of old habits and what the power of that really is.
Okay, so the power of habits is so massive. The actual amount of joy or discomfort you feel in your day-to-day life is spaced around your habits. They say that your future is made by your habits. Success or failure is made by your habits. A man himself or a woman is made by his habits. And to sum that up in a nice circle, thou's lifestyle is made by thou's habits. So let's think about that for a second. If you kick back, relax, all day, every day, you just smoking pot, you just kicking it, you drinking, playing video games, hanging out with the homies, those habits are going to stop you from actually truly succeeding and doing something with your life. They're not just going to do that, they're also going to instill the lack of discipline, which is going to make actually doing anything else in life 10 times more difficult. So right there, those habits are building you up for failure and not success. So that's one real bad thing about bad habits right there. They don't build for success. They don't build good discipline habits. They don't build good consistency. Good consistency. I can't say the word. Good consistency. There we go. Okay. When I was younger, I had a lot of bad habits. Okay, so I used to smoke a lot of pot. I used to drink all the time. And I would gamble here and there. I went through multiple different drug addictions. I used to hang out with a lot of stupid people, run around town doing stupid things. I was lazy. I was unmotivated. I wouldn't do anything with my life. And that led me into becoming a person who didn't strive for nothing. I stayed in the same dead-end job for 5 years because my habits were instilling in me that I wasn't worth change. I just kept running around the same loop over and over again. How soon can I get high? How soon can I go and have fun? Where's the closest party? Let's just say, fuck the responsibilities and do what we want to do. See, that was habits right there. They were throwing me down a rabbit hole and gave me no life skills. They gave me no character whatsoever, and they built my life to be nothing but a total, be honest with you, a total shit bag of a life. And I wasn't having it for no more. After my change, where I started becoming a more self-improvement kind of guy, trying to better myself and learn how to change who I was into the better, my entire life changed. I started forming new habits. One, I quit, I decreased smoking pot, decreased drinking, up to the point where I quit both of those. I've already done quit multiple drug addictions in my lifetime. Those habits I kicked into these new habits. And those habits I started slowing down and started swinning myself off to the point where I didn't need them no more. I didn't want them no more. And I started building new habits. I started going to the gym. I started reading books every day. I started writing, being creative again like I was when I was a kid. You know, I had a habit of recording music when I was in my, early 20s, and it was not great music. There was some good songs, but it was not great music, and I was not cut out for it. But my previous habits wouldn't allow me to change my mind enough to realize that that was not the path for me. Now I'm on a path of self-improvement and writing books. I just released a kid's book, and thanks to my new habits, I was able to do this. My habits of going to the gym, reading, writing, cooking amazing meals. Oh, I love cooking. And I've turned it into a habit, and it's helping me with my health, just like going to the gym. It's helped me with, not being dependent on fast food. So a lot of people are dependent on fast food. A lot of people do not know how to cook. I know people that are dependent on fast food, and we're trying to get away from that. So we got those habits right there, and I have several other habits that I have formed on this path of trying to become a better person, a better me, a better everything. And my life has changed so much since then. I work at a real job where I get dressed nice all the time. I'm making good money. I'm making new friends, positive friends, no more shitbag friends. Which I still have. So I had some good friends back then. Don't get me wrong. I'm still friends with some of them to this day who are not shitbags, but I had some shitbag friends. We all do when we're down a bad path. Anyway, so now I'm making better friends. I'm in a good relationship now, and I'm in a good relationship with God too, which I'm not super religious, but I have made it a habit to attempt to start becoming more religious in my day-to-day activities. But like I said, I'm not super religious. I'm not going to dive into that. This is not a religion channel. Let's keep moving. Overall, just a lot has changed in my life. A lot. I'm making side incomes, and I'm starting new projects. I'm going on adventures every single weekend. Even in the middle of the week, I'll decide to go on an adventure. Whether that's digging for dinosaur bones, checking out speakeasies, fancy hotels, and staying there, or going to random events throughout town. Going to whiskey ranches, a TX Whiskey Ranch. Great place. I love it there. Excuse me. I love it there. I'll drink like 1 or 2 drinks while I'm there, but it's mostly just the vibe of the place, the atmosphere. And I just have all these different random adventures I go on, and I document them on this channel. Heck, this channel right here, this is a habit that I enforce myself to do every single week. And that right there is the key word, forcing. We have to force ourselves into new habits. We can't just pick up a habit and be like, I'm not good at this, I'm going to just quit it. No, we can't do that. We got to stick to it until we become somewhat good at it. And if that habit's not really for you, then you will realize that at that point, and you can then drop it. Like I mentioned in a previous video, when we start new endeavors, any new endeavor, we're this little bumpy rock that's going down a hill. And the more we go down the hill, the smoother we get. By the time we get to the bottom of that hill, we are that perfect smooth rock, and we are just a perfect sphere. And you need to start going further down that hill before you start giving up on these habits. Let's take the gym, for example. A lot of people, myself included, don't take the gym that serious. We go to the gym, we work out once a week, or we go for a couple weeks and we quit, or we go a couple days a week, and after a month or two, we quit. And that's because we're lacking the discipline to stay in there. Lots of people out here, heck, probably you, who knows, are out there with a belly so big you can't look down and see your dick. You're just a big floppy man with man titties. I don't know you, but this might be you. I hope it's not, but if it is, you gotta start a new habit of eating right and going to the gym. And ways to start these habits are simply, you can just straight force yourself to do these things. So you can pick what your habits are gonna be and just force yourself to do them. That's something that I did in my life, and it worked. Another thing I did was the way of Kaizen, which I've discussed Kaizen on this channel before. The way of Kaizen was the Japanese philosophy of becoming 1% better every single day. Now you can twist that 1% better each week, 1% better every month. However you want to twist it, you can twist it and make it work for forming new habits. I want to become 1% better every time I go to the gym. But every week, I want to become 1% better than I was the week before with going to the gym. So, I want to go in the gym and say, okay, 1%. Let me hit this machine for one more rep. One more rep. Okay. Let me go to the gym one more day this week. Let me spend one more minute in the gym. let me put down this cheeseburger and pick up a salad. You know, let me watch my calories a little bit for once. Just a little bit. Let me watch my calories. Just 1%. You know, 1%. And that right there can change your entire life. So that's the second way of forming new habits. Looking at the Kaizen approach. You got the just pure force brute discipline, which is not easy, but it is doable, and anyone can do it. Anyone, okay? You can't be like, oh, I'm not good at discipline. No, you can do it. So you got that. Then you got the Kaizen way. And then the final way that I know well personally is making a game out of it. The reward system. So let's say that, you know, you're struggling with drinking, for example. That's your habit. That's your bad habit, is drinking. Wait another hour before you drink, and then you can drink all you want that night. You know, you can reward yourself by doing that. Wait all week to drink to the weekend, then drink as much as you want. Reward yourself. Every time you pick up a book, you want reading to be a new habit? Every time you pick up a book and you read for 5 minutes, you can play 5 more minutes of video games. Every time you go and hit the gym, reward yourself afterwards with a nice fat steak. Whatever you can do to turn it into a game. Lots of people do this. A lot of people will, you know, eat something healthy and then reward themselves with something that's not healthy. And yeah, it's a little counterproductive, but it's still progress into forming a new habit. And that's what we want to do. We want to go up like this. Sometimes the progress goes down a little bit, but we go back up and we keep going up. We keep making progress. We keep growing as who we need to be. And that's what we got to do. We got to grow and become the person we're meant to be by making new habits. Like I said, your habits shape your lifestyle. It shapes how your life's going to be. If you want a good life, you got to have good habits. You can't run around acting like, you know, a shut-in or a wannabe thug, or any of these countless examples that are not good habits or good lifestyles. You can't keep doing this. You gotta make a change. You gotta accept that what you're doing right now is not working, and it's time for something new. I started a habit recently of walking around each night. Every night I go walking around, and I come home and I reward myself with a glass of juice. This helps me stay away from alcohol, and it helps me with reaching my cardio goal for the day. And I get to be out in nature, which, as I mentioned in a previous video, being out walking around nature helps heal the frontal lobe of your brain, the part where you deal with trauma response. It helps heal that section of the brain by walking around in nature. So you need to choose your habits. You need to design your life by choosing your habits. Don't let your habits choose you. It's really as simple as that. I know it's going to feel difficult. I know it did for me. But the more you keep doing it, the more you keep practicing better habits, the easier they're going to get. Hey, you can start a habit of learning Spanish for 5 minutes every morning before you go to work. And then boom, out of nowhere, you got a whole new language under your belt. Think about that for a second. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I'll catch you on the next video. And for now, remember to keep going and growing as you can, and stack up on that no bull lifestyle. We're trying to be noble around here, you know what I'm saying? All right, Knights, y'all take care. Keep growing as you need to grow, and I'll catch you on the next video.